the frigid North Atlantic. In October, this water hovers around 40 degrees. Fall in water like this without protection, and you can die in as little as 15 minutes. It's stormy out here. We're off the coast of Greenland, and this is typical fall weather. The waves are 6 to 8 meters, 20 to 26 feet high. They're battering our 400-foot boat. This ship is bringing thousands of tons of cargo from Portland, Maine to Reykjavik, Iceland. No one has slept in 2 days. The furniture, our dinner, our bodies, the entire boat are on the receiving end of penalty kicks from the sea. Why the heck am I here? This saga starts with a very small fruit. I'm Dustin Blikowski, and I like blueberries. Not just any blueberries, these blueberries, Maine wild blueberries. I also like to know who makes stuff. Where does it come from? Whose hands and machines get dirty making a living buying and selling goods? How does Maine, my adopted home, fit in a global economy? How do Maine wild blueberries become blueberry jam, get sent to Iceland on a container ship, and end up in a kitchen 2,300 miles away? What can this teach us humans about how we're all connected in ways you can't easily see? Cameraman Kirk Craddy and I found out because we were curious and because we're journalists who like a good story, a good adventure, a good chef. Actually, what we're looking for is behind the wacky statue.
How many blueberries do you eat a year?
I don't know. Well, we eat a lot. We eat them every day on oatmeal.
Marie Emerson is the little woman who lives in a wild blueberry. A big wild blueberry. The biggest big wild blueberry that was ever big, blue, wild, and a berry.
Every weld in here we made ourselves. I stained every piece of wood. We lettered it, numbered it, did it at the farm, brought it up, and we put it together as a big family and friend operation. So, and it's been here for 20 years now.
To call Wild Blueberry Land a roadside oddity would be an understatement. The store, part bakery, part gift shop, part ad hoc museum, dominates its corner of Columbia Falls, Maine.
Self-coronation only.
Anything and everything you could possibly make out of wild blueberries, moose pie anyone? It's on a shelf in this place.
Isn't that beautiful?
Marie is one of many farmers who does all the hard work getting these blueberries raked and frozen by hand. It's a tough, dirty, and laborious task. The past few years, farmers have had a tough time making money off their berries. Some are questioning whether they can still afford to farm.
As you see your neighbors, I talked to a neighbor yesterday, tears in his eyes, and says he has to sell the family farm. It's sad. It's just not right. I mean, Washington County's always been hard-working people. You know, it would be no different if it was a lobsterman that have to sell the boats and have to sell their equipment, you know, because they can't make it. It's something that the state of Maine needs to look at, and they need to help. They need to do something for these small growers.
Last year was a disaster. The crop was really bad. The price was terrible. This year the crop's been a little better. The price is no better. So a little better this year, but I think our cabins have done really well this year.
This is Welch Farm, situated high above Englishman's Bay in Roque Bluffs. It's 15 minutes east of Wild Blueberry Land. Wayne Hanscom has roamed these boulder-filled barrens since he was 3 years old. Wayne's family has had the farm for 5 generations, so he's the perfect guy to ask what makes a wild blueberry different from a high-bush blueberry, the kind you see in most stores.
The difference between the Maine blueberry, the wild blueberry, and the cultivated blueberry is size, but it's also flavor. The high bush berry contains a lot more water, and it has a milder flavor. The wild blueberry has a very strong distinct flavor.
All the work raking the blueberries is done during a 6-week rush in summer. By fall, Wayne and his daughter Lisa are pruning the fields, cutting the bushes back with a tractor. But the cost of doing all these tasks, at least recently, hasn't always equaled or exceeded the return.
Last year was a disaster. The crop was really bad. The price was terrible. This year the crop's been a little better. The price is no better. So a little better this year, but I think our cabins have done really well this year.
Wayne and his daughter have diversified their income by renting out a couple cabins as Airbnbs. They also sell some berries to a big company called Wyman's that flash freezes wild blueberries and distributes them frozen.
We done about 20-some thousand pounds in fresh that goes probably half local and half goes as far as Connecticut. The rest of them, which was about 50-some thousand this year, went to Wyman's for freezer because we can't pack all of them in our shed. It just won't. It isn't big enough.
Well, I've had people tell me when I brought them up here for the first time that it looks like Africa, because it's just barren. These fields have been in production for over 100 years. And before that, like I said, the early settlers and the Native Americans were using these fields to harvest blueberries off from.
Homer Woodward is the vice president of operations for Wyman's, that frozen wild blueberry company. We're in a town called DuBois now. Population, just 57. The scale of this corporation-sized farm is evident. The black SUV we're riding in looks pretty small from the air.
I was a little kid. My grandfather and my uncle both had blueberry fields. So that's how I were in my school clothes back when I was a little guy.
So you actually know what it's like to do the work?
I do, yeah. I grew up with it. Yeah. It's hard work.
Wild blueberries from Wyman's fields just like this one end up as jam in Iceland. The operation here is a lot like Wayne's small farm, but juiced up to the max.
What's a blueberry mean to you?
Well, money, I guess. Mostly, I guess. It's a job. I've been mowing 30 years. A lot of it was night mowing.
Wait,
That's
sorry,
not so
night
good.
mowing?
Yeah, that's not so good, but
No, what's that entail?
the same thing as now, except you do it at night from 7 to 7.
Pruning and mowing in this field is a carefully planned and executed operation. The mowing lanes you're seeing were plotted out on GPS maps. Farmers also have to make sure they're mowing the right field. Each wild blueberry field can only be harvested once every 2 years. Preparation and care is constant.
Do you like to eat them?
I really like some of them, yeah. They're all different tasting. Some of them are sweet, some of them are sour. So the sour, I like the sour ones better. I don't know why, it's just because they're all different. There's 5 or 6 different breeds of blueberries.
If you talk about wild blueberries in Down East Maine with a local, there's a good chance they'll also mention blueberry pie, almost as famous as Maine's ubiquitous whoopie pie. If you're down east talking to a local about blueberry pie, there's a good chance they'll refer you to this spot, Helen's Restaurant in Machias. An hour and 40 minutes east of Bar Harbor on Route 1, Helen's is a local institution, a good spot to ask people about wild blueberries.
Blueberries in Maine are the finest blueberries in the world. We've traveled all over without a doubt because they have the soil that no one else has.
How important are these blueberries to everybody around here?
Well, a lot of people, that's their income. For a lot of people, it's mostly, seasonal work, blueberries, fishing, things like that for here, so it's very important. I raked blueberries all my childhood for school clothes every year. If I worked really hard, I could get the extra something, that I wanted or that I saw somewhere.
What about the blueberry pie at this place?
Oh, it's great. I wouldn't eat anywhere else.
Helen's is the type of place where the lunch special is a burger topped with goat cheese, wild blueberry mustard, and it's all laying on a bed of wild blueberry jam. No, we didn't plan that. Helen's also has a legendary blueberry pie. Standing nearly 2 inches high, these monuments to all that is sweet yet subtly tart are topped by a planet-sized dollop of ice cream. You can also get apple pie like Kirk, but he's weird.
Look how deflated that is. These apples don't even have any support.
The blueberries in Helen's pie show up at the restaurant like this. The bags are packed here at Wyman's processing facility in Cherryfield, Maine. Millions of wild berries from the fields we showed you are shipped here in tote boxes like these. The berries are flash frozen after harvest in summer and kept in a warehouse until they're ready to be repacked at this plant and sent to customers. Adam West, not Batman, I asked, is the manufacturing manager here.
Go ahead and choose your size, and we'll get buttoned up and ready to go.
I think I'm a medium. You don't have medium here? Small and medium?
Small, that's right, medium's the smallest.
Adam is responsible for all the berries while they're in the plant. If someone could bleed blueberry juice, it's him.
I'm fourth generation of my family that's worked for this company, so I've seen it from the ground up. I've worked here since I was old enough to come in the plant when I was 16. I've harvested the crop when they were on the field, started raking blueberries at 5, so I think that's why I have such a vast interest.
The plant's interior is what I imagine being inside an unused sealed replacement water filter feels like. It's dimly lit and cold to keep products frozen. You can see your breath in here. It's also super clean, almost ominously so. You have to suds up your shoes when you walk in the door. And as soon as the production lines are shut down for the night, all these conveyors and chutes are sanitized too.
So how hard is it to keep this thing clean? Is it a lot of work?
Yes, it's very hard. As far as the plant and the lines go, we have 4 guys that come in that clean all 5 of our lines, and we give them 9 hours. They have 9 hours. They come in at 9 o'clock at night. They're done by 5 o'clock in the morning, and 5 to 6, and then we're back up and running at 6 o'clock the next morning. So this plant here runs 16 hours a day, and then the rest is cleanup time until 6 o'clock the next morning.
Wow. And what do they do?
They're sanitizing all the product contact surfaces, the floors, equipment, anything that may come in contact with the food or the floors, the drains, all the plant is completely sanitized.
Adam brought us through the whole packing process. First, ice blocks of berries have to be broken up. Then a laser sorter separates the berries and any leftover stems are taken out. Ugly or inadequate berries are picked out by hand. About a dozen women, many of them from Mexico or Central America, sift through fruit racing by on its way to a box or bag.
This is the quality control department.
This is quality. The 2 ladies over here are the final set of eyes before the product gets to the consumer.
A lot of pressure on them.
That's right.
There's a big manufacturing line for bulk customers like restaurants. A smaller one takes care of bags destined for places like grocery stores. The berries are weighed out into the proper size for packaging on the way to the bags and boxes.
Okay, so we got a nice display case, you got the nice robotic arm. This obviously is something cool that we should talk about.
Correct. This is a BPA machine. So what this is doing is 2 bags, there's 8 bags in this case. It's an 8 4-pound box. So what they're doing is it's putting 2 bags into the cassette at a time. It'll pile up 8 bags and then it will slide the bags into the box. And then the box flips down and process goes through and the box passes through the tape machine here.
From packaging, it's off to the forklift and a warehouse chilled to -5 degrees Fahrenheit, a chilly final stop for the berries before they're loaded onto trucks and sent back out into the world. That is where we're going, the world, the big wet horizon on the other side of the blueberry barrens, at least in a little bit. Maine does export blueberries in whole frozen form across the globe, but the berries we're concerned with don't go straight on this ship. The ones that ended up on the deck getting battered out there with us were turned into jam in southern Maine, our next stop on Ship Me Out.